Hello, good evening. I'm Mark Orwoll, and this is Mark Orwoll is at it again.
Let the swing begin. Mark Orwoll is at it again, and that cat is swinging. Yeah, that cat is swinging. The party don't stop when Mark's in the...
As the newly appointed Commissioner of International Manners, I just want to say that I know how hard you try to be a good traveler. But there's so much of importance going on in the world today. And here I'm thinking of Taylor Swift's next concert tour, that it's easy to lose sight of those simple things that make us civilized Homo sapiens. The following are not rules, but reminders. Here are the travel faux pas, which means funny things in French, to keep in mind this coming travel season. Reclining is okay, sometimes. But if you do pull the lever, please lower your seat back slowly, possibly not all the way, and never during meal service when the other passengers are bent over their tray tables examining the beef salami and divinia fig spread in their take-off snack boxes and consequently throwing up into those little white bags from the seat pocket. If you meet someone from a foreign country in America, you would probably expect them to at least be able to say hello, goodbye, how are you, how much, and please tell me if you see an ice patrol. Why should Americans do any less when traveling abroad? I once said thank you in English to a cashier in Anatolia, which was misheard as sexioptic. The next thing I knew, her 3 older brothers told me we had to get married. So at the very least, learn how to say I do in Turkish. Learning about the local currency is as much a matter of courtesy as it is avoiding financial ruin. But nothing says I couldn't care less about your country than having no clue whatsoever about their money. I make one simple calculation before arriving. How many of the local currency units equal $1 US? Pretty simple, right? For example, 1 Zimbabwean dollar equals 0.003 cents US. Is that the same thing as 3 cents? 0.003. No, 1/300th of 1 cent? 1/3 of 1 cent. Oh, my head hurts already. Which is why I recommend the Google Currency Converter. In some countries, a waiter will run after you to return a tip you placed on the table, assuming you left it there accidentally. In other nations where a tip is expected, don't leave it on the table. Give it directly to your server instead. In still other places, your taxi driver will try to run over you when you get out, depending on the size of the gratuity. My rule of thumb, never tip anyone in Australia. What's that for, cobber? I already made me fortune emasculating sheep in the outback. And handing out fistfuls of U.S. singletons everywhere else. Listen to the price, but don't make a counteroffer unless you're serious. This is how these shopkeepers make a living. It's not a game to them. So show some respect and restraint. On the other hand, if you have the chance to buy a pair of pointy-toed yellow babushas in Marrakesh, just pay whatever they ask. They're worth it. The middle seat gets both armrests. Unfortunately for you, or that is me, Mr. Seat 32B, a majority of flyers don't think you have the right to both armrests. Frequent travelers like us know because we travel. Let the guy in the middle have the armrest that you would normally share with him. Yes, that may lead to dislocating your shoulder, but that's the price of being a considerate traveler. Next time you see someone at the airport with their arm in a sling, give them a wink, a knowing nod, and possibly a salute. The cost of your ticket does not entitle you to treat the airplane as if it's your living room. That's a quote from a former flight attendant told to the Washington Post, a real newspaper. Keep your socks on. In fact, better yet, keep your shoes on and keep your damn feet on the floor. I almost never use my cell phone speaker. The only time I ever do that is in response to someone else having a loud FaceTime family chat or listening to an episode of The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. In response, I set my iPhone to play It Can't Happen Here by the Mothers of Invention and put the volume at 11. Works 100% of the time. Rick Steves, world-famous travel maven and tour operator, has had to contend with selfies for years. He has even had to pause small concerts to tell his groups to stop recording on their phones. Quote, otherwise everybody's going to be ignoring the music and jockeying for a good angle to get their selfie, he says. They're not paying attention. They're not in the moment. They're missing the beauty of it. Couldn't have said it better, Rick. If I were as wealthy as Rick Steves, I too would want to spend more time in the moment. Problem with your seat assignment? Deal with it at the gate if you can, or with a flight attendant as soon as you board. Also, you're not obligated to switch seats with anyone unless they have a compelling family reason or they're offering you a way better seat. A man in my row near the front of the plane cursed me out because I wouldn't switch seats with his wife in a middle seat 20 rows behind us. When I suggested he switch seats with the passenger next to his wife, he finally shut up. When it comes to talking politics these days, Americans don't have much of a platform for pontification and high-handedness. Unless, that is, you're fond of dank prison cells, the bastinado, the strappado, defenestration, and electrodes attached to your nether regions. No politics. The left hand in many countries is considered the dirty hand. If you have to take off your shoes, as at a mosque or entering a private home, you remove your Doc Martens with your left hand. If you use the bathroom, you use your left hand to clean up after yourself. Never pick up food for yourself or offer a platter to someone with your left hand. In countries where they used to cut off the hand of a thief, they always cut off the right one, leading the victim to a lifetime of eating and wiping with the same hand. Also, the word sinister derives from Latin for left. In medieval times, a royal bastard was noted by having a bar sinister in his coat of arms, stemming from having been conceived on the left or wrong side of the bed. How do I know all this stuff? It's freaking amazing. I'm no Sean Duffy, but I agree that airplane couture has declined significantly.
But manners don't stop at the gate.
That's right. Manners don't stop at the gate. Things aren't what they used to be. Some would call it the golden age of travel. Let's bring civility and manners back.
And that extends to what you wear after you arrive in a foreign land. Despite her many efforts, my wife has not yet succeeded in throwing away my collection of Beavis and Butthead t-shirts. But I'm savvy enough not to wear them while visiting the Hagia Sophia. And there are way too many shorts out there. Men, put on your big boy pants and shirts with a collar. Ladies, keep the cleavage to yourself. Unless you're Megan Fox. I get it. You're allergic to shellfish, or pine nuts, or eggs, or peanuts, or your daughter-in-law's hamburger noodle bake. Tell the server you can't eat that and to recommend something that you can eat. But when you start asking whether the chef can make this dish or that one without those reaction-inducing ingredients, you may be pushing it too far. Just order something that agrees with you. Or go to a different restaurant. You know, they have McDonald's all over Paris these days. My wife and I were in Fortnum and Mason in London, and she had to urinate. She asked one of the cashiers for directions to the restroom. "What's wrong, dear? Aren't you feeling well?" My wife tried to clarify. The ladies' room?" The cashier replied uncertainly. "Do you want the toilet?" "Sure, you can ask for the washroom in Halifax, the dunny in Melbourne, or the benjo in Kyoto, but toilet is nearly universally understood. No one else thinks it's crude, so just say, toilet." In short, in the interest of brevity, be nice to everyone, dress like big boys and girls, and don't talk politics. Those electrodes are closer than you think. I'm Mark Orwoll. At it again. See you next week. Right here. Mwah!
Let the swing begin. Mark Orwoll is at it again, and that cat is swinging. Yeah, that cat is swinging. The party don't stop when Mark